Welcome back to my channel, all my haunted followers. Welcome to my new subscribers. And guys, if you haven't done so yet and you're watching this video, please like and subscribe down at the bottom. Paranormal, hauntings, ghosts, whatever you want to call the topic. It is one of my favorites, being a paranormal investigator myself for 16 years, investigating with very well-known groups. I love this topic, and I love hearing the stories that people share, as I've had many paranormal experiences myself. Guys, as always, sit back and prepare to get scared. In every description I see of ghosts always fall under, that's not possible. But the reality is, I've seen some things that most frightening things you could ever imagine. I've worked in a hospital for well over 20 years, and I can say death walks these halls. I've seen many patients pass on, some seemingly out of nowhere. But what makes my job frightening is seeing those patients after they've passed on. One memory that comes and keeps playing on my mind is one night we had an elderly man come in. He was very ill with a respiratory illness. He kept talking about how a little boy was in the room. I didn't see anything, but he insisted that this little boy was playing ball very loud. Now, maybe the lack of oxygen was getting to his brain. I don't know. I didn't see anything. We put him on a ventilator and left him for the night. The next morning, he was still saying that there was a little boy in the room still playing ball. I told him, man, I don't see him, but maybe you should ask him to stop playing. He looked over at the wall, almost as if he really did see something. No, I don't want to play with you, so shh. Again, I just went on with my rounds. Several hours later, the man went into cardiac arrest. Unfortunately, all attempts to save his life didn't happen. Now, please don't call me cold-hearted, but I can't let this stuff get to me. So I was on my shift and I was going about my business. It just so happened that I walked by the room that the old man had passed in. I swear, I heard a little boy laughing and bouncing a ball. I stopped and listened. I was just thinking that I was tired, and I went on with my shift. It was around 8 p.m. or 9. I was alone in the hall. I heard something coming from the room that a man had passed in. I slowly, hesitantly walked to the doorway, and I heard it. A man and a little boy laughing. I was so scared at the moment, but I needed to prove that I wasn't crazy. When I entered the room, I saw this really bright light, like an aura. There was the old man and this little boy. They were both just playing with a ball. That's when the old man just looked at me. He waved, smiled, and they vanished. I don't know what's on the other side, or what's after death, but I can most certainly say, I really think there's something. Is death final? I have always asked myself that, until recently. Why do you ask? Well, there's no explaining it. I am a mortician. Now, I don't want to get into the full reason why I do what I do, or the dark humor that has filled my mind, but my reasons for giving back, helping those families that have lost everything. I started this journey due to my father and his. I can tell you, I have hundreds of stories, but this one I need to tell, and this one really sticks out from the others. We had gotten a very young girl, and she was probably in her 20s. She had died due to an overdose that her boyfriend swears was an accident. As I was preparing the body, this was probably late, around 10 or so. I was the only one in the morgue. As I was preparing the body, I swear for a split second, I heard crying. I stopped what I was doing, looked around, and just shrugged it off. I started to lay down my instruments again. The room was dark, with light over the observation table. Again, I heard crying, whimpering. I stopped and looked around for the crying. The crying was coming from inside the room. In the shadows, I peered deeply, but I couldn't see anything. I shrugged it off again, like, this isn't happening. Whatever. I then picked up the scalpel to start the embalming fluid. I put the scalpel to the body. A scream! I jumped up and looked around. I couldn't believe what I just had heard. What? What was that? Hello? Is anyone out there? I called out. At first, I was frightened, but the late nights, I thought, were getting to me. Okay, I'm tired. Again, my scalpel touched the cold body, and another scream. This time, I heard somebody scream, "No." Goosebumps. I know I was the only one in the funeral home. It came to me, what if it was with this girl? I stopped. Okay, I know you're there, but you're not with your body anymore. You need to go. It's your time. Don't you want to look good for your family? That one still freaks me out. I think what's frightening about ghosts is that they're there and we can't see them, and they can do whatever they want to us. There's nothing we can do. I was definitely a non-believer up until I took a job as a security guard at a mental institution, an abandoned one. Again, I was definitely a non-believer. I didn't believe in anything that I couldn't see, and that's the way I was brought up. If I can't see it, it's not believable. When I started, my first weekend, all the guys were talking about the supposed ghosts in this place. I thought it was nothing more than a joke, nothing more than making the new guy at home, so to speak, until I had my own experience. My second weekend, I was by myself now on patrols. The facility in itself is absolutely massive. 9 floors in total, not including the 2 lower basements and the tunnels running around the whole facility. It's a very big place, and if you don't know the location or your way around, it's very easy to get lost. I was by myself on the 3rd wing. We had these security checkpoints that we needed to check with this little electronic wand. And I was by myself. The other security guard was on the other side of the building. That's when I heard it. Someone walking behind me. At first, I did think it was the other security guard. And I spun around, and there was nobody there. Okay, I thought. It's kids messing with me. But that's when all the doors around me started opening and closing, slamming shut. It was something out of a horror movie. I was absolutely freaked out. I ran down the corridor, ran down the hallway, down the stairs to the 2nd floor. I stopped for a second. I gotta get myself together. It has to be kids messing with me. So I took everything. It took everything for me to walk back those stairs. All right, come out! But there was no answer. Complete, dead silence. I said, there's no way. But there was a chill in the air. I can't explain it. So I walked back down the 2nd floor, shrugged it off again. I must be tired, I'm thinking. I must be seeing things. That didn't happen. And then I heard something. Something again walking behind me. I felt a chill run up my spine. And then I heard, "Get out!" I spun around, and there was nobody there. There was no doorway, no room. It was an empty hallway for anyone to hide. There was something there. I ran so fast to the first floor and out that door, out of the entrance, back to the security trailer. The security guard looked at me like, "Dude, you okay?" And I explained to him, and he just laughed. "Oh, you heard her." I said, "Her?" "Yeah, the old nurse that committed suicide many, many years ago. She supposedly haunts the place. I told you, kid, and you didn't believe me." "No, I didn't. But I do now. Whoever that ghost is, may we never meet again." I'm here to share my story of a supposed haunting, one that, for a better half of a year, I lived with. Back in 2017, I was at a well-known college in a dorm room. The college was built in the early 1800s and supposedly had its fair share of ghost stories. Many crazy, many weird, and many absolutely terrifying. But one of the stories I can completely confirm. The story is about a girl who set herself on fire and ran down the hallway on fire, trying to get someone's attention before succumbing to the flames. I can, without a doubt, confirm this story being true, not only in the history books, not only in local news, but because I've seen her. Minnie was telling the tale, or the supposed ghost story, that she wanders the halls trying to get others' attention by banging on their doors. I always thought that the other girls were just lying and telling a story, and that was until one night I was alone in my dorm room. It was about 1 o'clock in the morning. I heard somebody walking down the hallway. Now, it's a very light sleeping type dorm room. I say light sleeping dorm room because it's so easily to be woken up with just a little noise, especially if you hear someone walking down the hallway in the middle of the night. But that's what I heard. Footsteps. I was just thinking that maybe it was a hall monitor or something, or someone coming back from a party. That is when someone started banging on my door. I thought, what the heck? Now, my roommate was with her boyfriend that night, so I knew it wasn't her. So I slowly go to the door, peep through the peephole, and I don't see anything. I think, maybe it was somebody just at the wrong door. So I go back and lay in my bed. The knocking comes again, this time more intense and more urgent. I run to the door, throw it open, and again, there's nobody there. At this time, I really think someone's messing with me. So I step away from the door, sit on the floor, and wait for the knocks. A couple seconds later, the knock again, more intense, and far more loud this time. I run to the door and throw it open. And there's nobody there. I'm like, what the heck? That is when the smell of, I know this sounds gross, burning hair hit my nose. It almost made me puke. I looked around and didn't see anything at first. I went to close my door, and I just so happened to look to the left, down the hallway. I saw the most frightening thing in the world. This shadow, this figure, that smoking, flaming figure, walking towards me. I rubbed my eyes thinking that I'm seeing things, but it was still coming. It started running towards me. I slammed my door and nothing. I was so frightened. I slowly opened my door, but there was nothing there. No one in the hallway. I still don't know what I saw. I never believed in the ghost stories until I saw her. Many people, especially friends now, they all had their own experiences in that hallway, in that dorm room with the flaming girl. Thank God that I never had an experience after that. But I can confirm that Bridgewater State College is haunted. Well, all my haunted followers, I hope that you enjoyed those stories as I did. I really love the paranormal and anything that does with ghosts. Again, I've been in it for so long, doing this for 16 years. I've seen so many different things. Yet my mind is still not made up whether or not ghosts exist. Simply because there's so many different things that could explain them away. Not to knock any of the stories, though. I'm pretty sure that they have, or we're seeing things. When it comes to ghosts, it's really, I think there's a lot of people out there that would like to have a paranormal experience, yet I don't think they really take into consideration how frightening it actually is to have an experience. Imagine a person just appearing out of nowhere and then disappearing before your eyes. What if that person was not what you want to see? What if it was a person that was horribly misfigured in an accident? I don't know whether ghosts truly come back as how they died, but the spirits that I have seen, there's sometimes that they're frightening. They're frightening to see, especially if it was a demonic presence or a malevolent type being, if you will. And it comes down to it. You have to understand that there are people who have experienced these things that don't want to experience it again, and there's people like myself that would love to re-experience over and over again to close out and close my mind whether or not ghosts truly exist. It will never, that question will never be answered, and I've said this before in many of my videos, that I don't think we have, or we should have, that ability to answer those questions, whether a ghost exists or not, or whether there's another side to this, or there's a beyond this physical realm. If there is, that's not for us to decide and to figure out. We can continue to study these things, but we shouldn't be pushing boundaries so much. And if you are a person who has experience, as frightening as it is, I want you to understand that you're very lucky to have that experience, because not many people get to ever experience that, whether it's frightening or not. And especially with the story about the suicide victim who just reappeared. And that's simply how ghosts seem to come about, is that they're there one second, they're gone the next. And I think that maybe that's because we just get in that sight of that realm for a couple seconds of seeing them, or it's just that moved so quickly that we saw them, or they just want us to see them. Guys, as always, please like and subscribe down at the bottom. Next, I think I would like to do another skinwalker story, even a cryptozoological type stories. I like those monsters. I also want to do something more with Bigfoot, and I was requested several times to do another Q&A, so that definitely is coming up, another question and answer, and there might be a actual investigation video or part coming up at some point. If I can get my old team together, I think that was what we were talking about, doing an investigation at some point. And if I can push that along, maybe I can do something live if I have that ability to. Guys, I still have that contest going on. Once I hit that 1,000 subscribers, like I said, as soon as I hit it, I'm going to pick one of you to get that $50 Amazon gift certificate. If I hit more than that, let's say I hit 1,500, I'm going to give out a $100 gift certificate out of the lucky person. So share this video. If you guys like it, please like and subscribe. As always, happy hauntings.